Yugen Blakrok is rap royalty. When she was raised there, her hometown was called Queenstown. Her mother was a butcher, and although this rapper has managed to dodge beef, which has its place in hip-hop, Yugen Blakrok has been known to meet and soar beyond expectations set out for the underground. She has 3 albums under her belt, an immensely successful global career, and of course, she appears on one of the standout tracks on Kendrick Lamar's Black Panther soundtrack. Yugen Blakrok is a singular voice in music, and today, I want to hear all about it. It is season 3. Welcome, everybody. I'm Helen. This is a Helen Herimbi-Moremi podcast. And season 3 is a big one for me because I feel like I'm doing exactly what I want. And I guess today is a reflection of that. I finally get to speak to one of the greatest artists that this country has ever produced. Yugen Blakrok. Hi, Yugi. How are you?
Hey, Hizza.
How are you?
I'm happy, dude. I'm so happy. I'm doing good.
What's making you happy?
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, seeing you for one. Being at home.
Yeah.
Another. Joburg is so pretty. I mean, it's rainy.
It's horrible right
I
now.
packed shorts and t-shirts, and then I've been under a blanket the whole time.
Oh, that's so horrible.
When I come on, no, but it's still, the trees are happy.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I'm growing little jacarandas on my balcony. Like,
how?
In Spain. From seed. There's a woman that I met in this village there who's got this jacaranda tree. And I was like, oh man, a jacaranda, I haven't seen these. Oh, we have these in Joburg, you know, the streets are lined with them. It looks like we've got like purple carpets.
Wait, so context, because like you just jumped in, like people know that you were living somewhere.
Okay.
So you've traveled quite a lot, right? Yeah. So now we're doing a proper interview instead of just asking how you are.
Okay.
But you grew up in the Eastern Cape, right?
Yes.
And then you came to Joburg to Pretoria to study, right?
No, girl.
Where did you study?
Cape Town.
Did you do UCT?
I did.
On purpose?
On purpose? No, girl, come on. At that time, I was like, you got such good marks and da-da-da. Why don't you give it a try?
What did you study?
To go do like construction studies.
That's so not like what I would expect from listening to your music.
I don't know what I wanted to do. So I did that for like a year and we couldn't really afford it. You know,
Okay.
I was there on some bursary type on the one side and then tuition, and then I couldn't. I couldn't. So I hung out a bit. I went to Grahamstown at some point. My mom was like, hey man, let's try again.
Yeah.
So I went and I tried economics there. No one was trying to hear anything artistic from my side. And funny enough, when I got to Grahamstown is when I got on like the Hipocalypse mixtape that year.
Amazing.
Like 2004.
And Grahamstown is such a like storied history with hip hop specifically. Like all our favorite hip hop artists were at Rhodes or like
Zubs. I think about the Zubs a lot.
Yeah, Zubs is one of the greatest.
Listeners Digest.
Yeah,
was my thing. I sing handy and I don't know what it means. You know, it was so emotional.
You know, like the older we get, the more it was like, wait, so you're telling this woman that she must leave? Like, what? What are you talking about?
But my mind, you know, squatter camp things, you know, this is like around the time of Illusion.
Yeah.
And I got on my first mixtape then. And also Cash didn't work out. This time I was so happy, you know, because there's no way it's going to go this way. I don't really want to study the stuff. I'm like barely making it.
Yeah.
And like the more I focused on it, I spoke to my mom, obviously, and she was like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. We'll get there. And I was like, no, actually, here's what I'd like to try.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone through this route like twice already, and the funds are not, we can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know? So let me do this that makes me happy. And you used to get that counseling stuff in high school, like try to do something that you love so that you never feel like you have to work. And I thought, let me give this a try. As hard as it seemed, you know, from the Eastern Cape as well. That inspired me coming to Joburg eventually. So I arrived here like 2007. And I was living in Alex. And then from there, I lived in Katlehong. I met my
That's
best friend
so
there.
crazy.
We're in recess poetry, and we're doing all sorts of stuff, man. Just like rapping, open mic sessions, poetry sessions, Liquid Tongue. Those guys, Flow and Quaz, and then they used to put us on so much, dude. And I'd go there, and everyone would be, "Oh, so you're gonna do a bit of poetry?" I'd be like, "Yeah." Get on the
In
stage.
a sense.
That's my thing. That's my thing. Get out with my crew. So like, Joburg became that, like, where I learned to sort of like define who I am, and in this sense, I got to meet up with like Shorty Skills at Grayscale. One day I'd recorded it wasn't even a mixtape, it wasn't even nothing, son, like with a computer mic, with the boards. Oh, we burnt it on a little CD. And then I went to Grayscale in Braamfontein to go kind of check it out. I'd never been. I'd read about it, like hip-hop magazines and stuff. And then I meet Shorty Skills there. And I'm like, man, can you bump my stuff?
That's brave.
Shorty Skills. Yeah, I've recorded it. Like, I wonder what he thinks. And I'm there like with my and my voice was so much higher that time.
How?
I was scared. I'm realizing now, like, when I speak Xhosa, I speak on this level. English, all of that. Like, this is my base. But something happens when I get nervous, and then you sort of kind of, so I didn't like it. And I'd be like, what is up with that? Also, I mean, it was many, many, many blunts before. Then, so like, and he listened to it. I was shy, man. But I thought, man, this guy, it's Shorty Skills also. And he's got that voice as well, And he was such a legend to me anyway, that he gave me the time of day. I was kind of like, standing there in the shop. I was like, man, this shit is whack, man. My man, I love him forever for that. He was like, nah, man, it's just, man, your drum's not mixed, and he's telling me all this stuff that I already know, like technically. It was crap, man. Like, just badly put together. But he was like, but you're nice though, And I don't want to say to you, yeah, you're dope, and let you go like that. Whereas I feel like if I tell you what's wrong with your stuff, maybe you'll fix it.
Constructive criticism.
Like, and I was like, yeah, thank you. Take my little CD. And then he gave me like a Robo CD. And I took that home and I went to my crew. And I was like, oh man, he dissed me so bad. But anyway, and I listened to the CD and I was like, oh man. And I think maybe it was the first time I heard Kanif's production at this time. But also it was just like the vibe, how big everything is. It's the drums and the bass, and there's Robo. And he's himself, He's himself in his rap. And I was like, man, I need to see this live. I'd never heard anything like it. But I'm in Joburg, I might as well. And a couple weeks later, we're in Soweto, like at Next Move, He's got all the sessions. And Robo's performing there. And I walk in with my bestie, and we're going to try what we used to do, because we lived so far. Like, we'd take 2 taxis from Katlehong to get to Soweto. So we know that I'm only going to get on in the afternoon. And then the taxi is
time to go.
at 8. And I got to go, meaning, I heard Dumi was around. I'm like, what? He's paying
like, you missed him.
I'm not going to be there. Like, all these dope folks, I'm not going to be there. So in this particular sense, I didn't give a damn. I was just hoping Robo comes in before the end of the taxis. I can get to see him and then go. And then as I go in, Shorty's there, because they all rolled in a crew. I didn't know that, Iapetus squad. And he's like, hey, come on. Here's this cat that I wanted you to meet. And during the talk at Grayscale, he said, oh man, I can introduce you to somebody who can give you like proper nice instrumentals at me. And at the time, I didn't even want to listen to him. I was so, the way you were in your feelings. That wasn't my feelings. His emotion was whack. So I don't want to hear it. I was like, man, Charity, I know what I like. And blah, blah, blah. This time he's like, hey man, here's this guy that I wanted you to meet. Kanif, this is Blakrok. I was Blakrok at this time. It was Blakrok, Kanif. Nice to meet you. And I was so, damn. And he was so chilled, like so nice. Hey man, nice to meet you. Blah, blah, swing by. We try to do some stuff. Shorty's been talking about you. It'd be nice to hear what you're about. I climbed up, went there, watched Robo. And he really was a machine.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't fluff up no words. He just delivered, dude. It was just better than on the CD. I went home, I was like, yeah. And
He
2 weeks
legit
later,
like changed your life.
he did in so many ways.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying it in like a flowery way, but like when you walked in here, like you were saying, you were telling him that you wanted to have 3 albums. That was like a dream for you.
Dude, I watched them. I went home. I told, whoever, and Robo, this. Maybe 2-3 weeks later, I'm in Yeovil there to go meet this cat, Knife now. We're going to try do something. I'm going to try rap on one of his beats and see. And I was so fussy. He likes to tell folks like, oh man, she hated all my shit. Folks were like, yeah, it's a Knife beat, whatever I send them. They're like, cool. And then I talk to her, I don't know, it's a bit slow. It's a bit this, So we took the time to kind of find what I wanted, something that was hard, but also emo, but also, and during this time, Robo would come. I remember the first time he came through, I was so excited. I fried him some eggs, because it was like...
That's random.
Like, have you eaten? We were cool, and he was like a big brother. And then one day he came in during a recording session, and I used to have a tough time recording. I'd come from having, meeting folks with studios, and then you pay your stuff up front, and you have this whole don't waste my time type shit. And a lot of folks that I'd meet, whether it was Katlehong or even in Joburg, you go to the little makeshift studios. As soon as I start rapping, motherfuckers got something to say, like, folks don't rap like that anymore.
Yeah.
Or, I used to rap like that. There's no market for that. All that stuff you're on, all this cosmic, ain't nobody got time for that. But it was like, but this is how I like to express. This is what I'm into. Unfortunately, I'm not, I'm gonna rap what I'm gonna rap.
They were trying to tell you you're a throwback in real time?
Yeah, girl.
That's crazy.
Like, I mean, when it comes to women, folks are like, oh, you really like hip hop? Name da-da-da. Do you know this, and that? All that stuff, man, that you gotta prove that you're about it.
Yeah.
So there was that, and I had this fear, I guess, also part of that high voice. So I'd shut my throat even. So once Robo was like, hey, man, I've seen you rap on stage in front of folks, and it's not like this, what's happening. And he kind of brought to my mind that, it's like, there's folks there at the show. It's easier to have an energy to put out, and you're receiving something back in the studio. I realized, intimidated by all these gadgets and machinery, and I'm just like, I rap without a mic, whatever, And then as soon as he said that, it clicked, I made more of an effort to have my effect in mind. Like, don't be afraid of what it sounds like. Do it, when folks are there. Also, if I make a mistake, it's whatever. I've rapped my stuff and that's it. Whereas in the studio, I'm more aware that, I didn't pronounce this right. And, my accent is on everything, So I've also got all this stuff in mind. And here's Robo, he's got his accent and it's working for him, He allowed me to kind of just accept myself a little bit. And then Knife with the breathing. He was practicing like Tai Chi and Shaolin at the time, and everybody and Shorty skills, everybody's on that shit. So like breathing. And here's something I'm interested in, and they've got everything that I want to know and all the books I've ever wanted to read.
Like,
and
welcome home.
Iapetus was the squad, still is, So even breathing exercises and all that kind of stuff, like I grew a lot in that space, That's, for me, that's Joburg. Like what Joburg, they're so Joburg, the whole Iapetus squad. So for me, home is that. It's Joburg with them in that time, and, like growing that side of me, like we're going to be super nerdy together, boys.
That's
and we
great.
all, in everybody's stuff, and this video needs to be shot. We're there holding the light, Dumi's shooting, she's writing a book at the same time. And, we're having these conversations, and, someone can come back to you and say, hey, man, that lyric I was trying to write yesterday, or I walk into Mpo's recording session and I like house, and she's making house. And you're like, hey, girl, it's family. It's dope, you know. Like
Yeah.
that's where I come from. Like the whole, even to become Yugen Blakrok as opposed to just the Blakrok
Blakrok.
part of it, you know, to allow myself to soften into myself, you know,
Mm.
not. I mean, yeah, the hip hop became 90s stuff was very. It was militant. It was
Yeah.
energetic, and it was also a little problematic and misogynistic
Yes.
in many ways.
And still is.
And you know what I mean? And, you know, just seeing that and being around men who were against that was kind of dope. You
Yeah.
know, that we're all talking about, as far as what we're all talking about, we are one.
Yeah.
You know, there isn't one of them was like, yeah, bitches and da 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 da. You know, if I'm saying, yo, Pluto, cats are like, yeah, by the way, you know, radiation belt. Yeah, come on, you know.
You know,
it's cool.
I think everything you've said kind of fits into where my headspace is around this season specifically, because I've been thinking about voice a lot, and I've been thinking about it in a figurative sense. And obviously your like literal voice is iconic.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to know like you weren't even rapping like that when you first started because you were nervous.
Yeah.
But ultimately you found your voice and you were comfortable with your voice, and that's the thing that served you. But I think also it's important for us to talk about I mean, we're joking about it, right? Like, oh, the planets and whatever. But I was even saying to you, like, I feel like part of why our friendship is so great over the years is because we're similar, but we're different, right? I wouldn't be like, oh, you know, the planetary, whatever, because, you know, but I love listening to you talk about that stuff. But I feel like your debut, Return of the Astrogoth 2013, was very much like we were watching you be something that we don't know as a general public. So we're kind of in your world, like what is an astrogoth? Like all of that. Okay. And then with, I'm going to butcher this, but Anima Mysterium.
Perfect.
2019. I feel like you were still that like otherworldly, I'm interested in other things, but moving a little bit closer to us. And I feel like this album, The Illusion of Being, is like, I'm so smart and I'm like a literal Wikipedia, but it's all the things that we can relate to as a general public. Like even when I was like, what is Tessalate? Like, what is that?
Yes, okay.
Do you want to tell people what to Tessalate is in the context of one of the songs that's on The Illusion of Being?
In the context of one of the songs. Okay. It had started from, to tessellate generally, if you have like a couple squares and you put them next to each other, it makes a pattern. They're tessellating over each other. It's a way of laying things.
So they are repeating, but they are not overlaying, right? Because they're next to each other.
They're right next to each other perfectly.
Yes.
You know, it tessellates. I liked the sound of the word. I liked the image of it. And when I'd written it, actually, this was the first song I wrote for the album.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it wasn't even for my album at this time. Cliff's working on his album, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, here's this beat. And I was kind of thinking, oh, I like the beat. And he's like, oh man, you do like it? Okay, great. You want to do something for it? That's great. So I say, yeah. And then he says, have you heard of Combat? And we'd been traveling at this time on a road trip, going off to go play some show, Switzerland. And as we're rolling, he's playing LSD the whole time. You know?
LSD is what? An album?
LSD, yeah. Combata's 2020 album.
Okay, cool.
So I'll be rolling in the car. I'm like, damn, who is this? You know, so we've spoken about this beat and I'm going to do it. But now there's like another day and rolling. He's like, oh man, have you heard this guy? No. And he plays some songs. And this guy is on this level that I like. He's on some cosmic stuff, but really deep, godly stuff, you know? And the way he uses his words, I'm so inspired. Man, this cat is so dope. Oh man, this cat is so dope. And we're talking about it. He says, hey, do you think you'd want to rap with him? I say, hell yeah. So I write this verse with Kambata in mind, obviously.
Oh.
Yeah, because I do that. Like, I don't do features a lot, you know? When I do, it's like, I love you and I love what you're about, and I would like us to do something about it. If it works, it doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes you like someone's style and you never quite get it together. So I write this, and then the chorus, you know, I'm one who becomes two blades, two that turn to four. It's like an old saying to describe God, you know, one who is two comes four, you know, and he is the one after that. I am the one after that. And it's so scientific as well in terms of cells expand, you know, expanding.
And he also like talks about like being in the lab and all of that.
Hello.
But it sounds exactly like what you're describing, that you wrote it with him in mind, and then it's like you're having a conversation as opposed to like it's just a feature.
Yeah. And I thought in my mind, he's gonna get what I'm saying. This is his target market, you know. I'm shooting it straight at him, send the stuff. He's happy as hell. Oh my God. Sends his verse back, and we're chilling there, and then kind of flips the beat, you know, into this guitar-driven, hectic, whereas before the other one was almost trappy, slow, you know. I fall in love with this one. I say, can I just take this from my album? And then you have that. He says, no problem. You know? And from there, I think it kind of set the tone about what I wanted to do, going after the things that I want to quickly, not being super flowery. And I like that. I like poetry. I like things that seem like they don't have a point. It's just to just play with words and be in the vibe. But I also made a specific effort to just shoot straight, girl. You know, if there's things that bother me, there's things that are personal, but I also do want to shout them out. I'm not gonna say them as raw as they are. You know? I do still want to craft something beautiful out of it, but maybe it can be ugly in its beauty. It can be shocking. It can be, you know, like what Loner, I think, is.
Let's talk about Loner. Yes.
Oh, really?
Tell me.
Like on that one, I thought that was a difficult one to write.
Why?
One, the beat, you know, we went to Germany to go see the homie Word. He lives there in Berlin. And often I stay over his place, or we stay over his place. I've known him for many years now. When I first arrived in Germany, he's one of the folks that really opened his arms to me, like put me on to one of his shows that he's playing, or introduced me to other MCs that are sort of in a similar vibe, you know. Him and Amiwo are quite close to me. So we're sitting there, and there's this beat, and it's double bass, it's super fat. Khanif was like dying over it before I even thought I could rap on this thing. I thought, oh man, it's so slow, and I'm trying to go fast, but it was beautiful, you know. At some point, I'm like, hey, I would feel whack if somebody else goes and raps on this thing. I like it that much. Let me take it and see. And I wrote maybe 3 or 4 different songs to this. They never quite fit until I thought, ah man, it's slow, just say something, you know. I've stood my ground when my worst side refused to flee violence, refused to seek asylum, you know. I faced the tiger, I don't know, tamed a vicious roar to gold silence.
Wait,
that's
hold on.
Like,
you know, I feel like this episode should just be you talking, because like, girl, I feel like I'm interrupting you.
Don't.
But I feel like Loner, if you don't listen to this album at all, this song encapsulates the album, because I feel like it doesn't happen often in your music, but on this album we hear glimpses of like the real person. And it sounds to me like you're even beating yourself up that I'm not doing too many punchlines, I'm not whatever. It doesn't sound like that at all to me. And I'll give you an example, which is why I stopped you, right? So you say, I've stood my ground when my worst side refused to flee violence. Already it's like deep. And then refused to seek asylum, and then faced the tiger, tamed her vicious roar to gold silence. For me, like, I don't even know what the jargon is there, right? Like what the English thing is for that. But, maybe it's a punchline, maybe it's not a punchline, but like just the idea of like silence is golden. What does that mean? Silence is golden means sometimes it's wise to shut up, right? You could have just said that. You could have said silence is golden, but you didn't. So like, please, can you release the, oh, I'm not doing punch, I'm not, you know?
I thought I was so direct, even in that, like in the refusing. Once we talked about, I think also maybe in one of our last interviews, violence or the relationship with violence, having grown up in the times that we grew up in, like at the end of apartheid, like our house in Queenstown still got that bullet hole in there. And Umama remembers grabbing me and going under the table and, all of that stuff and curfews. And even though like we had this farm life, when my grand died, I lived eloption. And this also formed part of my upbringing, the violence of it, the misogyny of it, just the rawness of living in these spaces, to deal with it. Like in my communication, with, how am I violent in certain ways? Sometimes even in friendships and relationships, you act in a way where you're not aware of yourself, and people will mirror you, and maybe you'll say, it's their fault because na 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 na. But a lot of this album is that, like, coming to terms with myself as the monster on stage and off. It's not always pretty. And how do I deal with that? How do I look at myself and still be accepting and understanding, and also to take accountability in those situations where maybe you just don't want to be truly honest about it, or where you've contributed to the whole violent atmosphere, you know what I mean?
And that also shows up, I think, on, is it Mesmerized, where you're talking about conjuring up monsters?
Yeah. That also, I wrote during the COVID. And now I do feel like COVID is like, it was just a code for the new world. It feels like a completely new world. I arrived there, when I left, we just released Anima Mysterium.
When you left
South Africa, 2019, like February the 1st. I said, okay, sharp. We had our first gig 27th of February or something in France.
Yeah.
So I'd left on a 6-month visa. Bye, everybody. I'll see you in August. And that was that.
Yeah.
And I never came back.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened and all this stuff happened, and I was out there just like working,
So you went from France to Spain, right?
Yeah.
So over 6 years.
Yeah, I've been Mediterranean mommy.
And you say you crossed the hemisphere.
Close to poles, cold rhyming.
Come on. Come on. Dope in any environment.
I've crystallized, hard-headed, a diamond. Like,
come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, to accept, like, even with the times when it's not so great, when I'm missing home and things that are familiar, and I'm so, like, that first year that I left, I spoke no word of French. You hear me? I couldn't hear where one word starts and the other ends. It was one of the loneliest years of my life. Like, girl, I missed having girlfriends. I missed just having something, like the food is different, the language every day. And I'm just sitting there.
And also, like,
do you understand? No, it just sounds nice,
And I assume, like, you're making this music, right, that's very particular and not super mainstream.
Yeah.
You're with Kanif all the time, right? Because you guys are two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
You're in a predominantly white space.
Yeah.
You can't speak their language. They don't speak your language.
Can I tell you?
Tell me.
That the predominantly white space food, I'd always been curious about it because I'd spent my whole life here where, we navigate these spaces, it's different. And then I'd wonder what the homies, like in these northern countries, like in the US and in Europe, like how they navigate, because their politics are very different from ours, coming from where the majority is us Black women, you know? And I'd often wondered, like, so how is it like, you're just like, it's 5 of you. It's like, and how is that? And then I threw myself in there,
6 years of that.
Went to like Berlin, especially like in the East, where they really don't even be liking Black people a lot, where folks just look at you walking down the street like, I wonder what she's doing here. You see another Black person way over there crossing the robots, and you kind of, there is that, like, it's valid, it's legitimate, it's, another way to explore identity, as well. I appreciate that time as well to kind of see us from the outside. Because even when I left, I was frustrated, by what I know, by the glass ceiling, by the limits of being a woman, a black one, a closer one, culturally, in all these ways where I feel like, yes, man, can I just live on merit? Can I just be good?
And now
at
you
what
want to
I
tell us
do?
about Ammonites? No.
Can I just, can things not be so damn political and da 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 da? And actually, they can't not be political.
Yeah.
Everything is political.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate certain things more now that I've got that experience, you know?
Right.
I was tired also of being angry by the situation, by, the violence and all the stuff, the anti-women stuff. I understand more, and I can see more the efforts that are being made and all of that, because there isn't a place without problem. There isn't everybody, you meet folks there, and it's nice when you're visiting and you're a tourist, but on a day-to-day and you're taking out the trash and, you get to really see how folks are living and you see the similarities and the differences and all of that. And I think that also helped, like, hey, man, we're all in this kind of vibe, this zone. The whole world's changed completely, and everybody feels it. Everybody's feeling the squeeze. There's that level of desperation. There's talk of wars. There's billions of dollars, and you're like, yo, man, can I get 1,000 rands? Like,
not even asking for a lot.
Stuff that seems to not be about us, but it affects us so much. And how do we deal with that? Like, how do we? It's more obvious than ever that there's more that like joins us than separates us, especially when it comes to who's making decisions in the world, you know, that type of stuff.
I guess also, like, speaking about decisions and bringing it a little bit closer to you, you left home in 2019. The year before that was Black Panther. And I think you, Java, Saudi, and Babes Wodumo.
Don't you dare live out to Babes.
I would never, because just, sometimes no one will say anything. And I'll just think, everybody say Kiki, Riki, Kiki. Because really? She has no right to be so great on that song. But no, I love that song. But I think it's fair to say, like, your song specifically, or the Vince Staples, you, Kendrick,
that feature,
kind of stole the show, right? Like, big car chase, it's in all the trailers, it's your voice, all of that, right? So it would have been easy to just go, okay, America's the next frontier. We're going super mainstream. We've got the TDE/Kendrick cosign, if that still matters in this world. So we're going to pursue that. But instead, you were like, I'm going to France, I'm going to Spain, I'm doing these types of shows. Why?
That's what I like. I like the arty stuff. I've never been like, I've never positioned myself anywhere around or in the mainstream. I'm just not interested in that. There's many things I appreciate about it. A lot of mainstream artists that I enjoy, I'm just not one of them, in essence.
Don't you also call yourself like the black sheep who doesn't care about social what did you say?
Oh, hold ground. This black sheep ain't bothered by social class or something like standards. Baby got nothing from master but hands.
Let's see what Spotify says the lyrics are, because the artist forgot.
It's true.
Oh, actually, Hold Ground doesn't even have lyrics on there.
Really?
Because you have the two versions, and one has Hold Ground and one doesn't.
One doesn't.
And I was also trying to hear what you're saying when you go, someone asks you a question and then you respond, I am that. I am that.
Oh, yeah. This black sheep ain't bothered by social class or having standards. I'm sure I didn't say having standards, but something like that. Baby ain't got nothing for Mars for hands. I'm the blazing burnt offering on the shrine where I stand. And when they're asking who the deity is, I answer I am. So it's that with the offering,
Yes.
And it came like...
It's very Abrahamic, right? Like that's what you're
Yes.
thinking about?
Yes, the offering, the
Yes.
sheep to offer to God, etc. But it comes from that Baba black sheep. Have you any wool? And then poor little Baba's like, yes, sir, yes, I got 3 bags for you, and
Yeah.
that I was like, internet, and you're reading somewhere that a lot of these nursery rhymes had these heavy racist kind of roots in there. That's another one of them, Baba Black Sheep.
I would
Have
not
you
have
any wool?
known that you were
Yeah.
referencing that.
Yeah, girl. This is the type of stuff you grow up in. We were singing
Yeah.
that stuff at creche,
Yes.
Have you any wool? And when you think about it, it's about exploitation and black people. So I was like, well, this black sheep ain't got nothing for you except his hand.
I got hands up.
I got hands. I'm sick of it. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to willingly be part of this system that's not for us. Not in something that I write, not in spaces that I occupy. I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you,
Which is
except
why you don't
truth.
then go to America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and I like, man, I would like to see it, visit all the places, see the people, how they live, just like with these guys in Europe, I'm interested,
Yeah.
but I'm also afraid of it, I am also afraid of it, like
Why?
as a machine.
Yeah.
America is scary.
Yeah.
They got guns and stuff. You can carry them.
They do. They
like,
really do.
It sounds very scary.
Yeah.
And then to be minority there with guns, like they're in Europe, like I'm minority, but no guns, man. Like no one is gonna do what these guys have shown to be doing all this time, I am afraid.
Yeah. That's very interesting that you say that, because I was gonna say, like, what comes through very strongly on this album is that you are prioritizing resilience. And like I'm thinking about Fighter Mantra.
Yeah.
And how it seems like for a song like that, it would be super defiant, right?
Yeah.
But wait, I wrote down here so like you are very clear that you pour inspired verses into vessels and give them purpose. That sounds so great and flowery and amazing.
That's
great. But then you're also clear that is there any chance to heal when every week we walk slow behind these hearses?
Yeah.
When even in our grief, our numbers
make the weak nervous.
That's not laying over and like, you know what I mean? That's very awareness. Fighter.
Yeah, but it and also like it's something that does exist. It's not like an imaginary situation. You see how folks act when it's a group of black people. You see how white people act when it's a group of black people.
Yeah.
There's that kind of stuff. And I know I'm generalizing and but in real life, it's on an individual level that you get to deal with people,
Yeah.
But in general, people are just dying for nothing. Like there's mentalities at work that have been bred, that have been fed into, that have been nourished, that are not working.
Yeah.
A way of thinking that is racist, that is sexist. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And considering how complex the human being is, you can't actually afford to think like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be aware of that type of stuff and to write about it as something that affects me is what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just these are the things. At some point, man, I'd had so many weird and negative experiences just in life. I felt angry at myself for trying to make it pretty, and then I gave myself a chance to just say it as it is to me.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a little bit pretty here and there, but it's hard-headed as well because I am. It is spirited as well because I am. And I mean, I chose this career path with no promises of nothing, that I would even have any vinyls or 3 albums or any money at all. What, film scores, game scores? Are you kidding me? I always just wanted to see how far I could push it from those guys. I used to rap like that. I'm like, oh, did you? Oh, did you though? But did you?
Yeah.
You never did rap like me, man.
Yeah.
I've got that thing. I've got the rage. We've spoken about it. I've got like all types of things, almost like no sense of self when it comes to the art, it's helped me live in so many, to confront even the things that get in my way. It's the one thing, like, dude, I have a passport talent. You know, like it says that my visa is like talent passport.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
And even with
going
the
anywhere without it.
accents,
Please, you know, I am there. I'm like, ça va.
You've come a long way from not knowing any French
from
words.
not knowing nothing, having the most like superficial conversations, and let's get right into the thick of things, and I had no access to any of this. I can see this person's interesting, but I don't have the vocabulary to even, like, how are you really doing, you know?
Yeah.
And I still made some friends in those spaces, like folks who weren't relying on the verbal, you know, like they sense. And like 2-3 years later, when I come back to visit them, and they're like, "Oh shit, tu parles français maintenant?" I'm like, "Oui, I do." Now let's have this conversation. It's been like 3 years. I've been waiting, learning the words so I can have this conversation with you today, girl. And then it's like, okay, you are exactly what I thought you were.
Aww.
Can you imagine? Even with Spanish and Catalan, it's the same. It's people. You have to rely on vibes. That's another thing that changed, like the live act. You know, when I left South Africa, I was confident as hell because, you know what, I can rock a crowd.
Yeah.
And I went out there with this, but the language thing, what it taught me was not just to rock a crowd, but like to put on a show, to connect. Because here I am, and with the English, raps. And these guys, like, maybe if I'm lucky, they're speaking English second language.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some, they don't even, I really enjoyed the show. I didn't hear the lyrics, but the vibe, it was nice. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I know my lyrics are good, and they're not gonna land, even if it was a bunch of English speakers. I heard you were rapping about this and this and this and that, like the gist of it. Unless you go home and you listen to it, you know. So to also come out of myself, you know, not just rely on the lyrics when I'm on stage there. How do I communicate what the essence of this song is? I mean, the bass is gonna do it. The drums is gonna be bam, and then what? And then I'm there like, oh snap! Am I gonna get into my own head about the fact that nobody's gonna understand? And then I think about how did I feel when I first came to France? I was listening to French hip hop.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear nothing. I could only listen for, okay, I can hear his rhyming, the technical parts of it, cadence is good, or he is rhyming, or double rhyming, but in terms of what folks are saying, hey man, I'd be getting down to the most ratchet things. Because like, Yugen, I don't think you really like this song. I'm like, I don't know if I like it or not. It sounds nice. It's a vibe. And it's unfortunate that maybe the lyrics are really, really whack, you know, but I don't know that, you know. It protected me from, I had so much fun dancing to stuff that I knew I wouldn't be fucking with if it was in English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's also that cover. It kind of protects you a little bit, but it showed me a side to performance, to engaging with the audience, where it's like, oh man, I could be reading a grocery list right now, and we're here, you and me, you know? So there I've grown quite a lot. I feel I enjoy being on stage more than ever, you know? And
that's so dope.
Mysterium, I feel like South Africa missed out on that side. I was there the whole time, and it was a bit messy. So with this also, I do feel astrogothy again, you know?
But something else.
But also like
you sound so grown. You sound like you've gone through some stuff.
Yeah, I've been through some.
And I also wanted to talk about something that, a stanza that you rapped on. I'm gonna tell you now.
I love this so much.
Unregrettably.
Yes.
Oh man, we're gonna run out of time, and we've got so many things to talk about.
Are you kidding?
But
this is probably like, I love this interview. Is it even an interview? We're just talking about
just chats. But when I heard this, I was like, man, I feel like this has been my last 4 years in corporate, because it's my first time working in corporate, and there are certain things that I've come to learn that I'm like, So like in regrettably, I don't know if you remember these lyrics, but you say, takers know to reach way past your limit when you're giving.
Yeah.
And stress will have you losing while you're winning.
falling out of rhythm, little light beam passing through a prison. Yeah.
The system needs you weakened and diminished, and fighters battle uphill.
Only to finish lonely at the zenith. You'll
And
cry
then I
a
was
river of
like-
tears till dark to wither, but still, your ability to feel is infinite. Girl.
That's so crazy to me because, I mean, obviously it's a universal experience, right? Like,
Yeah.
I very much feel like you're winning, but it doesn't feel like
It
you're
doesn't
winning.
feel like it.
That joint when you're going uphill, everyone's like, congrats on
Yeah.
the promotion. Oh, are you overseas again?
Yeah.
And you feel so lonely. But that's been my experience. So tell me
Yeah.
about your experience in writing this song.
Oh man, I lost a friend to life, not even to death.
Yeah.
And that inspired that song also.
What does it
The
mean to
lines
lose a
about-
friend to life?
I mean, the friendship is gone. Yeah,
okay.
life. You lose someone to death or you lose them to life.
Okay.
Life thing.
Because when you say
It
friendship
becomes-
sinking,
Yeah, this friend, you're chilling there with your homegirl and they're busy, like some snide shit. And you can feel in this moment, like, girl, this friendship is sinking. Why are you subbing me like that? We're sitting here and I'm
Yeah.
involved in this falsity because you're not my friend.
yeah.
You're not my friend. Your actions are showing me you're not my friend. The way you're treating me, like, am I so desperate to have you as a friend
Yeah.
that I'm putting up with all sorts of stuff, And how, man, I went to go tell my mom about it.
Oh, you were hurt for real.
She hurt my feelings. Yeah,
But isn't that the crazy thing that, like, especially women friendships, like that thing can be the greatest heartbreak of your life.
Yeah, I took some time off.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what's up with you, man? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm mourning. I'm mourning a friendship, like folks you come up with, and it was around this Black Panther time as well, where stuff would jump out, like making weird comments under pictures or under posts, or and I thought we'd always been real with each other, but I'd realized, like, often if I find something weird that you said, I'm like, girl, what did you mean when you said da 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 da, and you'll say that, or how do you mean? I'm like, because I kind of caught feelings, I kind of it sat in a weird way. Oh, that's not what I meant. I'm like, yeah, but even though don't pounce on me, Black Panther. I was like, damn, girl. Okay.
That's rude.
Yeah. that was the line where I was like, you got a problem with that? Like, oh.
Not a frenemy.
I was like, damn, man. Okay, we're thinking for sure, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just removed myself from there. And so even in that first verse, I say victim and
villain and victim.
At the same time, because as far as you're concerned, you're like, yo, I'm the victim because she said to me and she said to me, and it's like, yo, what is it that made her feel so insecure? I probably had some kind of tone going in there as well, because I've also got my own stresses, but let's be honest, it's hardly ever a one-way thing. And maybe there were misunderstandings that neither of us were brave enough to just confront at the time. And just write about it, because now we're not talking. We're not friends. We're not cool. I'm just like, yes, this girl. Anyway, thanks for the rhymes.
I got a bang out of that.
Bang out of this thing. Hurt my heart. And I remember even recording it. I was busy crying with my silly self, because man, this is what it is. Then I didn't, but also to just let go of the things that I think are so great about myself that are not, it teaches you in the next space that I find myself with a woman that I'm close to, and we're really to just, hey, let me just say it right now before I'm going to be hearing some weird things, rather, hey man, I really didn't like this. If it happens like that,
just be honest.
Actually, I thought about it. I didn't mean to say this like that yesterday. I do that sometimes. You wake up at night, damn, I should have handled that situation better. I don't want to send that WhatsApp at 3 a.m. Damn, girl, I'm so sorry I said this and that. I hope you didn't take it the wrong way or whatever. And usually the homie be like, nah, girl, shit, no. Don't worry about it. I totally hear where you're coming from. So like with the raps, my speech must just go directly there where I want it to go. I don't want to faff around. I don't want to give you the wrong idea. I don't want to say stuff that affects you in a negative way. And as my friend, I do expect you to say immediately, hey girl, I don't know about all that,
Yeah.
or I don't agree with that, or I don't like how you said that, man. You know, that was a bit cruel, or that was a bit mean or cold. I
Yeah.
do tend to be cold sometimes, you know, I know that. So, like, you know, just honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty in how I present myself, in how I, you know, even with the mess ups and stuff, you know, like it's how you get up that matters, you know,
Yeah.
to give yourself grace.
That actually, not the grace part, but the how you get up and holding yourself accountable comes through quite strongly
In that
on this
song.
album. And I feel like you're talking to us for sure, but it feels like we're always in your head. Like
Yeah.
you're experiencing and we are there for the experience. Is
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
okay?
There was that separation from home. I think Mysterium was very, I'm out there. I felt out there. I
Yeah.
felt unanchored, you know. Whereas here I'm like, hey, I'm an immigrant, guys. You know, I'm this, I'm that. But I know who it is that I'm writing for, and it's the same folks I wrote Astrogoth for.
Yeah.
Me and the couple peeps. And it's always like a few in a crowd that
Yeah.
are, and I've come to accept and love that a lot.
Yeah.
It's every time I play, man, I know for sure, like nobody knows who I am. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna surprise people, it's gonna be nice. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, I'm prepared, I've rehearsed, I've got my band. It's nice. You got like electric guitar, Jordy's playing there, Kanif's got the synths, he's got the pads. And then it's just me. And I say, stop, or let's go, or let's, you know. And often folks are like, oh man, I didn't know you when I came, or they came for the bigger act, or they came because they're curious, which is also a nice thing. Oh, I just discovered you today, and it's nice to have that, like people experience your music first live.
Yeah.
They check what your vibe is about, because I'm very me on stage. I be cracking my stupid little jokes. Sometimes they fall flat. Inside, I want to rap. I didn't come here for the stand up anyway, you know.
I don't think a lot of people know how funny you are.
I know, girl. If they did, they'd be bugging me. They'd be bugging me. Spend time, you know. So
don't reveal it to them.
So I keep it to myself, like, and my friends that know. And then at the show, for the folks who like things, like I'm like, yo, I'm also a thing liker, you know. And
you know
I'm
what
happy,
you
know,
what you also are, which I discovered on this album, a geode.
That is correct.
Because I was like, when I was reading the track list, I was like, the Grand Geode, like,
the Grand
and then
Geode.
okay. Then I had to go look up
some rock business.
What is a geode? Please tell the people.
Okay, so we're talking about rocks from certain eras. You know, you'll have your Jurassic, your prehistoric type eras. So I had this in mind, just like a great form of something. Okay, so I have this concept, you know, of like when there's a volcano erupting, like they did in Pompeii or in the ancient old days or whatever. It goes over everything, and you get things that crystallize under that. When the lava moves so fast that things preserve their shape. You know, you see with certain mountains, you see with certain structures and trees, and you know, things that get formed into a rock because of these geological processes. You know? So I'm thinking of this big rock that's not necessarily a rock in my head. You never know what it could be. You got to excavate, and then you find all these layers, and inside it turns out it was just a shell, but it has become this thing because of all these processes that cover it and make it into something else. This is what I'm thinking. Okay, geode. Why? Because I wrote it for Sarok, you know, and this was coming from also a space of, like, I'd heard comparisons over the years. You know, folks would tag you when they're doing their verses stuff. Oh, you like blah blah Nadia versus Yugen, or Sarok.
What a dumb verses. Like, also why?
They like that. Folks like that, and I wouldn't even be aware of such stuff until someone's tagged me in it. Then I go check. Oh, let me go check out who it is. Oh, I like this person. Follow. Thanks a lot. I don't really care about the discourse or what you actually think in terms of that, you know, because I'm not really into that. You know? I'm against the whole it's very anti-feminine, you know,
Yeah.
anti the feminine. They can be
And
only
I've seen
one,
you and Nadia
this or that.
interact.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
bruh, like
I love this
you are
girl.
not the one
I
to
love
be like
yeah,
versus anybody. Like,
I ain't versus nobody.
yeah.
I'm about my business,
Yeah.
you know? So I wrote this thing for her also in that sense, because we've been friendly over the years as well. Like, she's super cool, man. I really like how she writes and I like how she raps. And I feel like, yeah, I'm represented right here.
Yeah.
Let me do my little thing. So I did that just as a play on words as well. There was Sarok, Blakrok,
Yes.
The
geode is a rock.
Geode, goddess. Yeah, everything about it. Even I was laughing, strike a woman, strike a rock, all of that, put it inside, all of it, to embody all of it and make it a geode, not just, it's naturally occurring, but after some processes, it didn't just appear like that, And that also kind of describes how I feel about my art and the craft and hers as well. And a lot of other people, like, it's not just something that appeared. It took many processes to form something so complex, That
took 3 albums.
I
I'm
got
so proud of you, dude.
On your 3rd season, I'm so proud of
I
you.
know.
I'm so happy.
And I feel like also, I really like this album, like a lot. And I have no idea what this title means. And I think no one ever asks you, because everything I've read is like, no explanation. So what is the illusion of being?
Oh, okay. I'd been reading To Have or To Be. There's Eric from his book, trying to go between these states of identifying yourself by what you have or identifying yourself by what you are,
Okay.
There is that difference. Often, like, especially in this more capitalist kind of viewpoint, folks identify by what they have. I have this, I have a home, it's like this, it's like that. I have these things, and therefore I am this type of person. Can't you see by what I've got?
Okay.
And there's also, what does it mean then to just be and not be happy? That's also trying to fulfill some type of expectation. Not be sad, to just be you. What does that mean? So there was that exploration. And then there was, in my brain, the illusion. It felt like being was an illusion. Being anything was an illusion, especially with social media.
Yeah.
What's portrayed, what I choose to portray even. I'm aware that I don't post a lot of the negative aspects of my life because, like, man, if that stuff brings me down so much, I'm not trying to bring folks down. And also, maybe I haven't found a voice to speak about it in a way that's encouraging. So I do it in the raps, So it gives you that sense, like, being, man, the illusion of it. I've wondered if are we in a simulation?
Yeah.
All of it, Sizoti Apa. Why is anything?
Yeah.
Why are we moving towards this direction of Mad Max? Water wars and desert and wars and all this type of stuff, and not the utopia that we all clearly want. You know what I'm saying? Why are we, like, going in this direction? Like, why does it feel like things are out of control? Like, am I somewhere else just thinking all this stuff or dreaming it? Am I somebody else's dream even? Am I even here? All of this kind of stuff. Very nice to think about and explore. But also learning these other languages, like in Spanish, they have ser and estar, which is being in both senses. Like, ser, like, yo soy, I am a woman, I am, like, in that sense. And then there's the more not permanent, very temporary, I am happy, I am. So they have 2 different words to explain these two, whereas in English, it's just I am. And then when I think about it, because I'm into linguistics and stuff, how does it affect, like, the English speaker? We tend to be so embroiled in our emotions because I am angry. So I've made this thing, whereas, like, maybe in Spanish or in French, you present it as I have anger or I have hunger. I have, it's not me, the anger and the hunger, whereas in English, I am hungry. And I'm like, is this why you colonized? Or you're like in your feelings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, Spanish did it as well.
Yeah.
But like, I'm interested in that, like, and how does that play out in how we speak to each other? The language and culture are so intertwined, and therefore being also in a closer sense. What does it mean? Like when I speak to these guys, and the books they're reading. So the illusion of being was kind of like, hey, man, if I am imagining this, then this is the imagination. And if I am really who I say I am, this is how I'm showing myself, but I'm not sure. It's like Schrodinger's cat, they're dead and alive at the same time, and all it really needs for you to know is to focus. Like with even quantum physics, as soon as you observe something, it changes. It's proven. You observe reality, you change your reality. The same thing with an atom or an electrical impulse, all sorts of things. It requires your attention. And there's something I read somewhere where, like, when you focus attention that much, it's equivalent to prayer, Yeah. And
Interesting.
right now, I do find, like, with the gadgets, you don't pay for nothing. All the apps are for free, but you're paying with your attention.
Yeah.
How much screen time, all of that type of stuff is only proving how valuable your attention is. So if this is the same on an everyday basis up until the white coats, that attention is the most valuable currency you have, then what do you want to do with it? I focused it here rather, there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of, but like, the illusion of being here, being in this body, being on this planet, being whatever it is that you are, what if it's not?
That one again. Now we have to go and think.
And it's okay. Like, I know, of course it is, because you are, like Ubuntu, I am because you are. And then where does time fit into it? Where does space fit into it? So all these things, like in the first albums that were supposedly these highbrow thoughts, and these, in reality, it's like one plus one. The Jupiters and the Marses and the stuff. It's all within. We're not all gonna be on shuttles out there with these billionaire cats. We're not.
And
we're
TV
not.
presenters.
It's gonna leave us behind. And the Jupiter is going to have to be within, and your Mars and your Venus. And how am I actually responding in this space? That's all space can be to me. It's this that I occupy, and that you occupy, and there's worlds in between,
It's very interesting what you're saying, because I feel like it also lends itself to the great I am. Like if you believe in God, you're not on that spaceship, but you can be here with God.
You can. So, I'm very much into God. I like
great.
God a lot. I'm thankful to
You know what? I feel like we're going to need a part 2.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to come back.
We don't need to come back.
There was never going to be enough time. There was never going to be enough.
But thank you for the time, Helen. It was really nice just to hear the lyrics coming from you also, because I
badly rapping them.
No, I like them read to me.
Oh,
yeah, that's
nice.
my thing is, if you could take the beat away, which is super great for me, and read this, does it move you?
Yes,
that's for me my standard. Like if you strip away the beat and you're like, man, this is whack, man, this is some shit. I would hate that for me.
I get you.
You know what I mean? I like to read them, because that's how I fell in love with the words, with poetry, with like just some cleverly put together sentence that does something. It's just a little scribble without nothing, with no gimmicks, with no sound, with no wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Is it magical or not? And that's what the aim was, to like simplify it. Einstein did say also, regarding theories, if you can't simplify it for a child,
then stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Yugen Blakrok, lyricist bar none. Welcome back home.
Thank you.
Safe travels, because I know you're going to leave again.
I'm gonna prove.
The album is called The Illusion of Being. Go stream it, go buy it. Yugen Blakrok, Helen.
Helen Herimbi-Moremi.
We will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.